Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Ruhle. It is debate week, and among voter issues like healthcare and immigration, the economy may take center stage. New GDP numbers paint a clear picture of the president's broken promises. The economy grew at a pace of 2.5% for all of 2018. That is down from the 3% previously reported. 2.5% is steady, and it is a healthy, growing level. But what it is not is 3% or more, as the president often promises.
If we achieve sustained 3% growth, that means 12 million new jobs and $10 trillion of new economic activity over the next decade. That's some numbers. I happen to be one that thinks we can go much higher than 3%. There's no reason why we shouldn't.
The economy now has hit 3%. Nobody thought it would be anywhere close. I think we can go to 4, 5, and maybe even 6% ultimately.
Growth under President Trump has continued at a very steady pace, but with no acceleration from Trump's policies. Back with me, politics editor for TheRoot.com, Jason Johnson, and associate editor of Commentary Magazine, Noah Rothman. Noah, 4, 5, 6% would be amazing. We're not there. We're not even hitting the 3% benchmark, but we certainly don't have a bad economy. How do Democrats play this argument of the president's broken promises and prove that he is not the guy for the economy and they're the ones who will destroy it?
I think it's pretty difficult for Democrats to do that. One, the way that they could, they don't want to. Which is to talk about the president's tariffs. Downward pressure on this economy as a result of the president's activities abroad and creating a lot of pressure on domestic manufacturers.
So why do you think they don't want to?
Because Axios surveyed every single Democratic candidate in the race and found that none of them would explicitly act on day one to withdraw these tariffs. Why? Because trade protectionism is traditionally a Democratic platform. Traditionally, Democratic constituencies benefit from trade protectionism, and all of these Democrats are going to study the issue, but not necessarily remove these tariffs immediately and approach this from a much smarter, circumspect place. They don't intend to do that, so what are they going to do? They're going to argue, if they want to, that your eyes deceive you. This isn't really a great economy, not for everybody, not for the people who matter. That's an argument that they can make. It's an uphill battle to convince the public, which is generally satisfied with the direction of the economy, and I think it's going to be a problematic approach. The trade approach is an easy one, but they don't seem inclined to do it.
All right, well then let's talk salesmanship, Jason, because the president's tax cuts were supposed to issue a whole lot of business investment, but that's not happening. Where we're actually seeing growth is consumer spending, you and me going out to dinner. So should Democrats look at this argument and start selling it harder? The president has changed sentiment. People feel like things are going really well when businesses haven't changed their tune despite the record tax cut.
Right. And Stephanie, and there are critical places in the country you can talk about this. I used to live in Ohio. You can go to Youngstown. You can go to suburban Cleveland. You can go to Akron. There's plenty of places where you can say that the president's trade wars and that the president's tax cuts have not benefited the businesses, have not led to the kind of hiring that you want. But I got to push back a bit, because I think there's one critical thing here that Democrats have to understand, especially going into the debate. Donald Trump didn't win on the economy, right? It was never economic anxiety. And Donald Trump won't be reelected on the economy. The economy is going reasonably well, as we've all pointed out, but he's still not nearly as popular. He's not as popular as he should be for this kind of economy. Why? Because his moral leadership and his rhetorical leadership has offended and failed so many Americans.
Yeah, but
the
Jason,
Democrats have to make a moral argument.
Economic insecurity did help the president. It was President Obama's final State of the Union address where he said anyone who says the economy is not on the incline is peddling lies. And from that, you saw that Trump voter be born as a president said, it's only working for the elites, not for you. And the people who you're talking about in Youngstown, Ohio, are the same people the president went to see, who he said, don't sell your house, we're not closing any of the plants, and alas, those plants closed. The
vast majority of the political science and sociology studies on these people is that they were driven more by racial animus and concern about immigration than they were about the economy. That's the thing.
But can't you connect the two?
You can
blame
connect
immigrants
the two.
because I don't have my job, which might be a false narrative, but it's a narrative that exists.
but it's an emotional narrative that you can't balance and that you can't break by giving somebody facts. I mean, Donald Trump went up in the polls after attacking the Squad, after attacking Elijah Cummings. Is attacking black and brown people going to give anybody their job back in Mississippi? No, but it still makes people believe in him more. The Democrats make a mistake if they try to do this Warren plan where you're just going to bore somebody with plans every 15 minutes. You got to give people something to believe in. You have to give people something to be excited about, because we can talk about these numbers till the cows come home, but at the end of the day, people have to believe that the President of the United States is going to be their moral leader. And if the President of the United States can be exposed as someone who is not taking us to a better place, that's going to motivate and move voters a lot more than telling them what the numbers are. I mean, that is the key to Donald Trump's success and the only way that you can stop him.
Okay, then, Noah, if data is for dorks and showmanship wins the game, is the answer, hey, Democrats, you've got a debate coming, time to bring your own three-ring circus?
I don't think a three-ring circus is what's going to win the race. I couldn't agree with Jason more. I think he's exactly correct that if Democrats want to run on an agenda, they will have to defend their agenda, and that creates a host of new problems. If Democrats run as they ran in 18, very localized races where they promised to be the anti-Trump candidate in the race, not Trump, all this good stuff, but not Trump. Not the tweets, not the racial antagonism, not the dividing Americans, but all this stuff, too, that you like, the economy and what have you, then I think they have a much easier case to make.
Then what do Republicans run on? I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about all the Republicans that need to run in 2020. What do they run on?
Well, they want to run on the economy. They want to run on a lack of foreign wars.
Really?
They want to
Mitch
run
McConnell can run on the economy in Kentucky?
Yes, he can. Absolutely. And he will. And you'll be, and don't count out Mitch McConnell. Everybody's counting out Mitch McConnell like they did in 2014. And by the way, just because he's the most unpopular person in the state as far as an elected official goes, doesn't mean that there is a Democrat out there that can beat him. People vote as a result of their, especially for a Senate Majority Leader, they will vote on national issues, not necessarily local issues. Mitch McConnell is going to run a campaign on judges, judicial appointments, his help advancing the conservative agenda through the Senate, and also the economy and the lack of foreign wars, the fundamentals that return of an incumbent president to office for 4 more years. That's an easy case for them to make. And what the problem that Republicans have now is that they have to defend Donald Trump's various successes of personality. That is their weakness, and Democrats make a big mistake if they decide we can't exploit that because we also need to advance our own agenda.
Well, they've got time to do it. The election, we still have a lot of days ahead. Jason Johnson, Noah Rothman, thank you both so much. Right here after the break.